For people of our generation, there's been an iconic song that we have sung for 53 years. We have sung it, but we haven't understood it. It was in 1971. You'll remember. You'll start humming it. It was in 1971 that Don McLean wrote American Pie. And we've been singing it ever since. Not that we understood it, but we thought it was one of those songs that was kind of a code. There was an underlying mystery to it that if we could only solve that, we could understand what he was really writing about. The other thing about it is that it's one of those songs that you would just find yourself humming in the middle of the day while you were doing dishes. It's just the way it was. And in fact, all of you know the song, right? You know the song. And join the levee members claiming that the levee was dry. And the good old boys were drinking whiskey and rye, singing, "This'll be the day that I die. This'll be the day that I die." Yeah, these words were so cryptic that we never knew what they meant. And McLean wasn't talking. Do you know it wasn't until just a few years ago when this song was sold at auction for a lot of money that McLean finally revealed that this was a song about morality and the decline of morals in our society. Well, my gosh, we thought that this was talking about the 1959 plane crash in which Buddy Holly died, remember? With Richie Valens and J.P., the Big Bopper Richardson, a few miles outside of Clear Lake, Iowa. We thought that's what it was, and when they died, the music died. But no, McLean said, finally, it was about the decline of morals. We have to be careful not to read too much into the words sometimes. Like with the song, The 12 Days of Christmas. Well, I'll bet most of us have grown up singing that song, trying to remember all 12 verses. I'll give you a chance in just a moment. People have assumed that the song was kind of a secret code that would teach children about the basics of Christianity. But it wasn't. But they tried to break it down like we tried to break down American Pie. And they tried to understand what the secret code behind the notes was all about. They thought that because this song was written in 1780 in England. You historians will remember, will remember that Henry VIII and Queen Elizabeth had this edict in which in 1779, that nobody in the entire British Empire could worship under the faith of anything except the one true church, the Church of England. And so a year after that, oh, and by the way, I guess I should tell you, if you talked about your faith openly, if you met for services, you could be arrested. All of you would be in chains right now. You couldn't even sing about your faith. The British Empire said there was only one way to express your Christian faith, and that was through the Church of England. So they figured, a year later, this song comes out. It must have been trying to address the problem that parents had of teaching their children about the faith. Remember, they could be arrested for even talking to their kids. And so they thought, okay, well, we got this song. And maybe the song was talking about stuff like this. Maybe the 12 drummers drumming referred to the 12 points of doctrine in the Apostles' Creed. They thought maybe the 11 pipers piping referred to the 11 faithful disciples, not Judas. 10 lords a leaping, why, that must have been the 10 commandments, right? The 9 dancing ladies refers to the 9 fruits of the Spirit: love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. How about those milking maids? The 8 Beatitudes, 7 swans a swimming must have been the 7 sacraments in the Catholic Church. 6 geese a laying had to refer to the 6 days of creation. 5 golden rings. Well, that had to have been the Torah. Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy. 4 calling birds. Must be the 4 Gospels. 3 French hens. Trinity. 2 turtle doves. Old and New Testament. And a partridge in a pear tree. Had to be Jesus. So they figured that by singing this song, these kids could just sing this little children's song, you see, and it could teach them about certain pillars of their faith. Maybe it does for you too. We should give it a try. We'll start with the 12 drummers drumming and take in after the pipers piping. Barb. On the 12th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 11 pipers piping, 10 lords a leaping, 8 maids a milking, 7 swans a swimming, 6 geese a laying, 5 golden rings, 4 calling birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves, and a partridge in a pear tree. Not bad, not bad, not bad. Yeah. It all makes sense, doesn't it? And it would be a great way, a great teaching tool to teach kids in secret. Except it wasn't why it was written. I hate to pop your balloon, but this wasn't what the song was originally written about in 1780. It wasn't the intent of the composer. But I'm kind of the mind that it doesn't hurt to look at a song more than one way, does it? Maybe the music did die when the plane crash went down and Buddy Holly and the others lost their lives. Maybe there's more than one way to understand a song. Well, Epiphany is about the Magi, right? It's about the Magi and their journey to discover who Jesus really is and is for them. Epiphany is a season as much as it is a day. We have Christmas on one day. Anybody want to guess when that is? We have, I guess there's a reason why I say that. Because Epiphany is 12 days. And I can tell you, a lot of churches were confused this year whether last week would be Epiphany or this week's Epiphany. Trust me, we're on schedule. We're on schedule, right on target. Epiphany over 12 days is the continual revelation of who Jesus is and who he can be for us. Someday, we might need the Prince of Peace. Another day, we might be able to use a king, maybe a prophet who would show us the way of righteousness another day. Maybe we need somebody who can feed us like the bread of life. Maybe other days we get lost and we need a shepherd to pull us back. Other days we just need a friend, someone closer to us than our own skin. You see, what I'm saying is that Epiphany is this season of revelation. It's the season of coming to know who Jesus is and who he is for us through the changing seasons of life. Some days we need him to be this for us. Other days we need him to be this. And that's what I think the season of Epiphany can do for us. Coming to know Jesus in all his fullness, I've come to understand, will take me a lifetime. It's not about, nor has it ever been, about creedal statements. It's not about dogma or doctrine. In fact, it has very little to do with words and everything to do with a relationship that we embrace with Jesus. Remember that cryptic statement that Byron read? After the Magi had come and seen Jesus, we're told that they left by another way. That doesn't mean they took Elm Street on the way out of town instead of Main Street. What it means is that their lives were never the same again. They left by another way. I hope you have met Jesus here today. And I hope that when we're finished, you too will go home a different way. And your life will be deeper and bigger and wider and taller and more meaningful. Because you have met the baby. And you have come to know who he is and who he can be for you. He wasn't a philosophy. He wasn't a ritual. He wasn't a mystery. He wasn't even a mystery that needed to be decoded by some song. He was flesh and blood. And he wants to have a relationship with us and give us the love that's in his heart and wants to live in your heart. Today wouldn't be a bad day to invite him in. And when you go home by a different way. May God bless you. And may God bless our dear United Church of Marco Island.